Hi, my name's Katrina and welcome back for another episode of my crochet podcast slash vlog style videos. I had a brain fart and couldn't remember what I was talking about, even though I've been doing this a lot recently. So I've been doing more regular videos about every week, which is awesome, especially whilst we're going through Corona at the moment. The coronavirus is worldwide and everyone's at home predominantly. So it's been really good to catch up on videos. I know I have been watching so many videos. I've been binge watching like crazy, and I just wait. Every day I'm on YouTube watching or looking out for new craft videos and just trying to see if there's anyone else who's put out a new video. And then there'll be 3 or 4 that'll come out in 1 or 2 days, and then there'll be none for a couple of days. Because I do follow a couple of different types. I watch BookTube, and then I watch the crochet and knitting podcasts, which I love. But then I'm also interested in some yard outdoor gardening people as well. So yeah, it's good to have variety. Anyway, so today I want to talk about, I'm going to do everything I've been working on real quick. I have a ton of stuff. In comparison, normally I don't buy much yarn wise. I usually buy for the project I'm working on, but I kind of went, not nuts, I wouldn't say nuts, but I did get a few things. I said in my last video that I was waiting on some stuff and it has come in, so I'm going to show you. So I have 3 finished objects, 3, I have 3 from my last video, and I have good progress on the blanket for my husband. So I'm going to show everything. Now, I got the last ball of yarn for my add-along, so I'm not wearing it today because I still, even though I got the last ball, I haven't finished it. So my plan is, it is, let me check the time. It is Thursday, April 23rd, by the way. Tomorrow is my husband's birthday, so I've got stuff ready for him. So Thursday. So, and it's, what time? I looked at the date, but didn't look at the time on the iPad. It is 4:47 in the afternoon. So tonight, once my kids are in bed and I'm sitting down watching telly, my plan is to get that tiny weeny bit done. So even though I was classifying it as sort of finished last week as well, I'm doing the same. This is still finished. It's still done. I'm justifying it in my mind by showing you today. It's fine. Then we've had 3 babies born in the last week. Yes, last week. So last weekend, I found out that someone that I work with, or used to work with, I don't work with her currently, but my mum now works with her, which is hilarious. We both have worked with the same company on and off and overlapping for the last 15 years now. Oh, that's just made me feel old, and I'm not old. Hilarious. But anyway, so yes, she had a baby girl, and then my husband has a friend at work and they had a baby girl, and then my cousin, she had a baby girl, yeah, around last weekend. I think it was Saturday. But anyway, yes, so I delivered a card to the lady I worked with. I just put it in her letterbox. Said I know I can't visit. I don't want to come visit whilst Bub's too little to get her general vaccinations. So I'll just see you later. We'll catch up later. And her and her husband are great. That was their second baby as well. But for my husband's co-worker, their last name is Fox. And I was already going to make this, but I'm looking in my mirror to make sure you can see it. So this is an amigurumi fox pattern. I'm pretty sure, let me just get the right one. So it's tall fox with scarf amigurumi. It is by J.A. Pulvos from Little Bear Crochets on Ravelry. It's a paid pattern, so I can't go into it, but just to sort of show you I've got my iPad again, so I'm going to show you the picture of the pattern. So that is there. say not too far off. The only thing, okay, so a few little things I want to talk about. I sewn this chest piece is the same shape as these. That's not really giving away much because you can't really see it. So it's the same, but I was sewing it on late at night and I was super tired and I kind of did it wonky donkey, but that's okay because I knew I was going to do the scarf. So yes, I haven't finished my ends. Now, the ears are pinned in place, which you can see there. So it's like 98% done, but my husband, the people who it's going to, her husband works with my husband. He is finishing up work tomorrow. So he's working tomorrow with my husband and then he's not going to be there for, I think, for 6 weeks, but I'm not sure. So we want to get it to them. So this just needs to be sewn on, the 2 ears and the arms. They're pinned in as well, but the scarf, it just comes loose. It doesn't need to be tied on. So there's a couple of ends to tie on, but it's like 98% finished. I wanted to show you on the podcast. That's why I jumped on real quick today, because if I podcast tomorrow, I won't get to see this, and I've got to take some pictures as well whilst there's light in the next little bit. So I have to get it all done. I'm trying to get everything smack bang dab. So great pattern. If you're going to buy the pattern and if you want to start amigurumi, this is not a beginner pattern. It is a great pattern, but there's just a few things where it assumes you've done amigurumi before and you know the formula for amigurumi. And it's just a very basic, simple pattern that's simple to read, but it doesn't have all the extra explanations that a beginner pattern would have. So I would say advanced beginner to intermediate pattern, but it is a really good pattern. The Little Bear Crochet, I think I just said it was, they have a whole heap of patterns. So the fox was just one. I haven't made any by them or the group. So I was trying with this because I've had some orange. I bought this beautiful bright orange. Like, how bright is it? And I just wanted to make a fox. I was dying to make one because you can never find orange. And orange is my thing at the moment. So, yes. Gorgeous. Love it. Done. And kudos to me. Pat on the back. Then, oops, I'd have a washing basket with like everything in it to show you. My second finished object is... Now, I don't have any pictures of this, so I'm not going to insert any pictures today. I'm just going to show you. So it is I'm not going to talk whilst it's in front of me because it'll be muffled. It's the Dragon Belly shawl. So it's the Dragon Belly shawl by, I can't pronounce the designer, but it's the same person who does the Lost in Time shawl. It is a free pattern. I'm just getting it up on I used a 4-ply cake. So it was from Lincraft. So it was a Lincraft Illusion cake, which is a different version of like a whirl, but it's got the 4 strands. I don't have any left to show you really. But it had 4 strands that weren't twisted or like properly plied. They were just very loosely done. And so it would start 4 of them in that. And then when the colour changed, it would be gradual where one of the 4 pieces would go like a white or an off-white cream. And then it would get progressively more. And then all 4 of the stitches, they wouldn't go completely cream, but it mixed this sort of mustardy caramel color into the darker brown. It does become a solid brown, but I've only got the border in that, so it doesn't really stand out as much, which I like. So it's neutrals. That's a good representation there. So that's the color, and it's quite a nice shawl. It goes around my neck really well. It's, I think, asymmetrical is the shape. The pattern was for 88 rows. I didn't do 88. I did 78. I think I did 78, and then I did the 2 basic border rows, and it does give you an option as an extra. If you want to make it wider, you can have, I think it's 2 extra rows for the pattern. I was kind of just done. I was sick of looking at the yarn because I bought it ages ago, and I'll explain more later what I have been doing, but I've been setting myself patterns alongside yarn to do projects and to finish them off. So if I bought yarn for a specific project and then I never got to it, I'm trying to do it now whilst I've not necessarily got more time, but just whilst we're at home more anyway. So it does also come with tassels. So I have made, there's 3, but one's fallen in the basket. So I've made 3 tassels. I am going to put them on. So I'm still classifying this as finished, but I want to get like a little clasp, like a bead or a O-ring, so that I can put it on there, but then I can take it off when I have to wash it, because I do have animals. I have 2 cats, a kitten. I have a kitten. My kitten's 4 weeks old. So sidetracked with all that, sorry. But I have a kitten and a dog. The cats are all inside. My dog is indoor and outdoor. So I have fur and like hair everywhere all the time. So I will need to be able to wash my stuff fairly easily. So 2 finished from this week with the add-along still done. And then I just got into it one night. I finished the Zeppelin scarf. So it is homespun stripes in Cinco de Mayo. I'm remembering all the things today. I love it. And I just got a message. So you've just seen, I heard the ping from my iPad. My husband's heading home. He's coming home from work. So this is the Zeppelin scarf. I used 2 balls. So it started at green, orange, pink, yellow to green. And then I connected the next ball. So the green in the middle there, which is behind your neck, would be twice as long. And then I've repeated it so that it matches. And it's a really good length. It's a wide scarf. And just, it's a basic, I think it's a 6-row repeat. So you just go on and on and on, and you get it really quickly. You can remember it, but it gives this beautiful like fan look. Surprisingly, I got straight edges on this scarf all the way through. Normally I get tired and lethargic and I just don't pay attention and I end up with like wobbly edges, and I usually add borders just to like cover it up, but got there. I usually have to wing it a bit. So that is done as well. I don't have photos of any of these things. That's what I'm hoping to get done this, oh sorry, I've just knocked the camera. Hoping to get that all finished this evening whilst the sun is setting. I think there's going to be decent light in some parts of my house. So that one's homespun. 2 balls, Cinco de Mayo was a colorway. Universal yarn crochet. So another free pattern that was. Okay, so that's all my finished stuff. Then I've got the Seaside Stash Busting Blanket. I'll tag the link for it. It's a free pattern through Attic 24. No, I might be lying. No, delete that, scratch that. I don't know who it's by off the top of my head, but I will tag it down below and you can find out. It is a lot bigger. So, sorry, that is the bottom. Yeah, apologies, that's the bottom there. So I think I'm done week 9. So it's got these beautiful stitch patterns that change, and it's no rhyme or reason to what like what order you have to do your colors. So I've just been picking them as I go, and if I don't want to change as much, like with this one there was granny stripes for 4 rows and I just did it all in green. So I'm going to do that all the way through, just chop and change my mind. These are the colors in eucalyptus trees and Australian gum trees. It's the same species, it's just the species name and like the common name, but yes. So between like a scribbly gum and a snow gum, and there's a red gum, these are all the colors that you get in it. So really liking that. I think I measured, it was supposed to be 120 centimeters wide and I ended up getting it to be 140, so it's quite wide. It's 2 people could probably sit under in it. It's just going to be a throw in the lounge room, possibly on the end of our bed, but we'll just see how it goes. So I've got these big 200-gram balls that I'm using from Bendigo Woolen Mills. It's 100% wool. It's rustic, so it is a little bit like rougher than a merino, but it's not scratchy. Like you can have it up against your skin and it's fine. So that's all lovely. And I got a heap. I think I was up to week 4 or 5 the last time I showed it, so I'm super happy. My intentions were to have this finished for my husband's birthday tomorrow, but it would have meant that I had to do like 15 rows every day, which was not going to happen. Anyway, I had to get the fox done because I really wanted to gift it to friends. So he's okay. He's okay. I bought him another present and he'll just get it later on in the isolation for COVID-19. But that's all right. I'm enjoying it by putting it down, doing another project, and then coming back to it. So I'm not losing focus on it, which is the best thing. Because if I lose focus on it, I have 2 blankets that are hibernating essentially in my craft spare room. They're just, I don't want to look at them. As bad as it sounds. So that's what I'm working on. So what I did, I'm going to show you my idea. So I got pen and paper and I got a notebook and I wrote down all the patterns that I'm super excited about and I want to do, but that I already have yarn for. So for instance, actually I don't have anything here, but this. So I knew I had 2 balls of the homespun and I was looking for a pattern and I just wrote down, okay, Zeppelin scarf, this. So I've already ticked off the 3, that's the highlighter marks, the 3 that I finished, which was the fox, the Zeppelin scarf and the dragon belly shawl. So that was 3 patterns on there. I've also got the Harvest Moon shawl, which is by Zines and Roger, the Goldenrod sweater, a beanie for my husband, the Treasure Island shawl, Adelaide jumper, the blanket that I'm making for my hubby, Ebb and Flow pullover. These are all just names. I won't tag them underneath this video, but it's just an idea of like how many I've managed to find. I want to do another crocheted pair of socks. I want to try like a denser fabric pattern. There's a top, a Grace top, and it's like a short sleeve autumn, spring, summer top. Yeah, in cotton. Changing coarse cowl and Hotel of Bee shawls. So I managed to find yarn or wool for every one of those projects. I have bought some of that in saying that, but I'll show you now. So, oh, sorry, didn't mean to wiggle everything. So I needed 1 ball from the Adelong jumper, that red jumper that I showed at the start, and I didn't want to pay $10 postage because it's a standard that you pay $10 for postage in Australia at the moment. And I didn't want to pay that for, I think it was an $8 or a $9 skein of wool. So that wasn't happening. So I got these 2 and these are a bulky. So I think it's like a 10 or a 12 ply. And it's called Santa Cruz Organic Merino. And it's from Argentina. It's 100% wool. I'm sorry, I've got a dead leg and it's really hurting. Oh, I had to move really out the screen there. But yeah, it's this beautiful burnt orange with almost like a really deep mustard colour. So I'm thinking I'll do a pattern where I can put them together. I did find a cowl. Yes, sorry. So I found them on the website. Lost my train of thought. And then I ordered them. They came pretty quick. All good. So I found the changing coarse cowl and I want to do that with those. It's the right ply. It's all the recommended stuff. So that was automatically going into a pattern. Then I was in my... It's called the Reject Shop. It's a shop that sells a bit of everything and it has their own version of yarn, and they don't sell wool, they sell yarn. So these are acrylic and I just had to grab them whilst I was there. I was getting bits and bobs of other things. So this is Birch Creative Chunky Cake yarn. And look at that. So it's got like a lime green almost, but it's not really lime, it's deeper than that. But it's got specks of blue in it, which I didn't even realize at the time. And it's got grey, teal, navy blue, and a light blue, but the light blue is speckled. So I couldn't just take one because one going off the meterage wouldn't make anything, and I was thinking a chunky shawl. I haven't made much in chunky or larger yarn or wool. I just don't gravitate towards, I gravitate towards fingering weight. So I thought 2. So I got that. Then I wanted to try this. Have you seen this? It's fur. It's like a fur. And I thought amigurumi. So I'm thinking, I found a rabbit pattern ages ago and made it in the velvet yarn. And we're thinking I might try that, or I might try to make my own pom-pom. So I think this was $2 or $3. So if it fails, whatever, for my experiment, but it's more just for me to get a feel of it. It's the same brand. It's called Misty Yarn. It's polyester, 100 grams, 53 meters. This is a 9mm needle. Yeah, so that was all the details of that one. So then when I was talking about goldenrod sweater, I cannot think of the designer's names for any of these patterns. I apologize. But I received today a order. So these are 200 grams from Bendigo Woolen Mill. This one is a luxury 4-ply. It's in Amazon green. And there is 720 meters. That right there, that's how dark it is. It is gorgeous dark green. And I want to make a jumper. I needed a different color. So I've got a cream and purple speckle and purple at the bottom jumper. I've now got my red, like wine red jumper. This one's, I think, one of the next ones on my hands. So there's that. And then with it, I got 2 balls of this. Burnt orange. It is called Sienna Kiss. It's luxury in the Sweetheart range. Same thing, 720 meters. It's 200 gram balls. So that's 400 grams, 1400 meters. And then as a contrast color, I'm trying to find it. I got this light brown, off-white. It's called champagne. It's kind of like oatmeal colored. So I was thinking, because they have to, the pattern that I'm putting these ones in is the Harvest Moon Shawl by Zines and Roger. I do remember that one. And see, just the contrast is perfect. So it's 4-ply as well. I think I've got the meterage for the large, because you can make a large and a small size, and you can do 2 or 3 colors. I'm doing 2. So I looked at all that. So that arrived. So I bought the Bendigo Woolen Mills intentionally 3 weeks ago, but they've been inundated with orders. So that was just taking a lot of time. So I knew in my last video that I was waiting for that to arrive. That arrived today. Just coincidentally got the first lot. The reject shop, I was out doing my essential shopping and I had to get cleaning supplies from this shop, and whilst I was there I saw the yarn. Please don't go off at me. But then I had a rough day. Over the weekend, last weekend, and I thought, you know what, I am going to buy myself some beautiful skeins of yarn. And I was flicking on Instagram, and I don't know who it was, but somebody tagged the designer. So Cheryl and Vanessa, and I got Cheryl's name wrong last time, and I apologize so much. So Natural Fiber Arts. This is in Australia, Cheryl and Vanessa. So I think Vanessa dyes predominantly most of the yarn. I think Cheryl does some of it, but I don't know how much, but she runs the business side of things as well. But they run this business. It is merino singles. It's superwash merino 100% on this one, and it's called Acacia. It's beautiful. It's mustard and green. And it's like really dark. The green is really dark here, but then it's a lot lighter and patchier. And then I'd seen it in somebody else's stash, this one. But they paired it up with this and then like another, excuse me. They paired it up with another version of this, but it was a lot paler, like lighter. And they did sort of a fade with it. But I got this Hunter, which is a really dark green. It's a Hunter green, and it is 100% non-mulesed merino. So it's not superwash, but that's okay. These are full play, so they're to go together. And then I didn't realize I was looking. I got DK, Indie Dyed DK. So this is called Ginger, and it's a burnt orange. If you can't tell, my favourite colour at the moment is burnt orange. But it's burnt orange, DK, and this one was on special. So I grabbed 2 to do a project because you would need 2 minimum to do something smallish. Please don't tell my husband. He doesn't watch these videos, so don't tell him. I've bought a little bit, but that's what I've done. I haven't spent money on other things and just transferred it over to yarn. And I'm supporting Australian stores, especially smaller stores. So that's 1 store, 2 with this yarn, and then 3 small businesses with that. And then with this one, keeping a larger chain going. A lot of retail in Australia is sort of uncomfortable. They sort of don't know where they're going in the future and what's going to happen because a lot of obviously the stores are shut, and I'm sure it's the same all over the world, but a lot of my friends and family do work in retail or hospitality, and it's just hard at the minute. They don't know if they're either going to go back to a job or if stores are going to shut and they won't have one, and then where do they go from there if everyone's out of jobs. So it's a bit hard. So yes, it has been 10 days since I last filmed to the day, but by the time I got it uploaded and put up, it was a couple of days later. So it might be less than a week in between the 2 uploadings, but that's fine. So I'm super impressed with myself. Super impressed. So I'm not exactly holding myself to this and saying, I have to do this, but it's really making me enthusiastic to look at ticking things off and to start things that I know I've been excited about. And I'm keep looking at the same things on Ravelry. I found probably 20 to 30 new patterns in the last 5-6 weeks that I've been at home because I've had more time to just sit and flick through in my downtime. So interesting. I hope everyone is staying safe and looking after each other. I know I'm not homeschooling my children because they are still at school. They're just doing virtual learning, and we've just gone through this is the 2nd week of school holidays from the Easter period. So we've just had 2 weeks off, but they were off for 2.5 weeks before that. And now they're not going back to school for the first 2 weeks of the next term. And then on week 3 of term 3, which is what we're going into, they're going to start doing 1 day a week. And I want my children to be safe, and I don't want them to be unnecessarily put in the harm's way of getting the virus and contracting things. But I'm so over virtual learning and teaching, and I live in a rural area, so internet's up and down constantly. Kids' enthusiasm to learn is up and down, and I hate fighting with kids over it because I don't think they need that as well from parents as well as teachers. Like, teachers are trained, and I appreciate them so much. They just do so much with our kids, and I miss my teachers. So anyway, long rant short, I want the kids to go back to school and preschool, but who knows if it'll happen at the minute. But hair's purple. I dyed it again so it's darker, but it just looks black at the moment. So I'm a bit disappointed. I think because I've got naturally darker hair. But anyway, so no makeup, just all natural. Got my like flannel looking shirt on. Hope everyone's okay. I'll aim for another video in a week or two, see how we can all go and catch up, and give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Thank you. Bye.